Welcome back to the Chicago Tomahawk. I'm Mike, and I got my line mate Matt with me. This is the week we're finally getting some regular season Blackhawk hockey this week. Me and Matt are absolutely stoked about it. And a subject that we've been getting quite a bit is the not just with the Blackhawks, but around the league, and it's the captainship and what does it mean to a team. Back in the day, the captain was, what I mean by back in the day, I would probably say before, the last 10 years, it would be the locker room would get together and they would say, hey, this is who we're going to get behind. This is our guy. This is our captain. He represents our team. He's stand-up guy, plays great, good locker room guy, works well with the coaches, and it was somebody that the team and the community could get behind. Then I would probably say maybe around when Sidney Crosby came into the league. He had an A his first year, and then I believe he got the C in his second season. And it was because he was obviously the big talent in Pittsburgh. He was somebody that obviously this organization was going to get behind. They were going to build a team around him, and they were going to ride him into the future. So it was, at the time, really weird because they're like, how could you give the captainship to such a young kid who hasn't been in the league very long? It normally went to a veteran. And as time had gone on, they've been giving it to younger and younger guys. Right after Crosby, it was Taser. His second year in the league, he got the C. And teams started giving it to young guys, they're young studs who are going to kind of be the face of their organization. But with where the Blackhawks are at right now and some other teams, I think that it's fair to say that it's okay to give it to a guy who's going to be the captain for, say, maybe 2 or 3 years. In the Blackhawks case, I think that Foligno could be the captain for 2 years or 3 years before they give it to Connor. And obviously, I think that they're going to give it to Connor. He's been a captain at every stage of hockey that he's played in, and he's obviously has a great work ethic. He talks well to the media, and but I think that he needs to have a couple years where he is getting like that mentorship and that tutorship from somebody, and I think that could be Nick Foligno. Matt, another example that we were talking about offline is St. Louis. I believe Ryan O'Reilly was their captain for 2 to 3 seasons before they moved him, and then they named somebody else. I don't have a problem with them naming somebody currently in that locker room. What do you think?
Yeah, so the new captain for St. Louis is actually Braden Shen, who kind of came up with the team. I think he was involved in a big trade with Philly, I want to say. A couple of years ago. So
he's been a good player his whole career.
He's definitely a good player.
I'd hate to get hit by him.
Oh yeah, I remember him taking a nasty skate to I think it was to his stomach, and man, that crazy scar they showed on TV, and he kept playing. So guy's tough, man. But like you said, St. Louis.
Hey, hold on one second before you go any further. Did you hear that TJ Oshie has like a line of products where that is supposed to be cut proof? It's like a special fabric. Yeah, it's like a special fabric that he says that you can wear as an undergarment that should protect you from errant skates.
That's awesome. I think that's great. Do you remember a couple of years back, Richard Zetnik? He took that skate to the throat. I think he was on the Panthers at the time, but he took it was bad. Like there was like blood puddles everywhere. Of blood. And the trainer ended up saving his life. And, the guys, you don't see too many guys wearing the throat guards because they get made fun of, or the turtlenecks. Right. But I mean, that might be something to consider now, especially for goalies, because, they're sometimes lower than the play, and there's guys getting banged around, knocked in, and stuff like that. But
sticks coming up.
They do make construction gloves, like the razor blade Kevlar type gloves, and I've worn them before, and man, yeah, they're awesome. But that's a great idea, because when I played, I pretty much had, it was kind of like an Under Armour, what do you call it? Like a long underwear type of thing, real thin. and it was like like a cooling one. And I've seen a lot of different, like, especially goalies, you see weird things. I saw a goalie with pajama pants underneath, and he'd put his cup over it, and then put his socks over the pajamas. And I'm like, why do you wear that? And then he tells me, well, I like it's lighter, I can move, and I don't like the sock, just the feel of the sock on his skin. So goalies are just weird. But there's a couple different. I had somebody else actually had sweatpants, and he says he liked those because he felt protected if, God forbid, a skate or a stick hit him, and he's got a little more like cotton comfort, I guess you could say. But I'm like, well, isn't that kind of uncomfortable in the crotch area? He goes, well, like, check it out. He actually cut it open. So he had it cut, so when he would, go down for, like, say, like a splits type of save, it wouldn't affect him. It wouldn't leave that, like, bulge. So it was cut, but... So, yeah, I went to a lot of goalie camps and saw a lot of different things. And I was like, okay, I think I'm going to stick to my way. I like it. It's kind of tighter. But going back to the Oshie thing...
Warroad.com.
Okay.
That's the name of it. And he's offering some, what looks like, you wear it right underneath your, your pads. It says peace of mind for your loved ones with blade cut protection.
That's brilliant.
Order bacteria, skin irritation to keep you fresh and game ready. Battle tested by the pros of real NFL action. And in an advertisement that I saw, it was a video of, what is his name? Evander Kane. He had got a cut or a blade to the wrist, and he was skating off. This was just last year.
Yeah, I remember that.
He was skating off because he was bleeding real bad, and he was. I think that he might be wearing this stuff now. I'd have to double check, but they're showing Tom Wilson is wearing it.
Yeah, his teammate.
Yeah, it looks like some other guys are wearing it too.
Remember Carlson actually took a skate to the back of his ankle?
No.
That is something they should consider too, because that's a pretty vulnerable area with the skate. The heel comes up.
Yeah.
And if you got that, when you bend your knees and then you start striding, there's a little opening there, and I think he got it there. And I want to say he tore something and cut himself pretty bad, but that's something they should start considering, even with the socks. The NHL uniform is even making them more protective like that. Right.
Oh, there's a picture of Roenick wearing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So TJ Oshie Warroad for protection. Against blades, because it'd be really terrible to see a guy go down on the ice like that, man. It's really scary when skates come up and stuff.
Free ad reading by Mike. Look at that.
Free ad reading.
There you go.
I gotta. I'm gonna have to contact TJ about that. So anyways, Matt, about the captaincy, I didn't mean to interrupt you about that. I just wanted to bring that up because it was something on the top of my mind, and I thought that it was interesting.
At a current list of all the captains right now, and obviously Crosby, like you said, he was named captain. I want to say his second year in the league.
Yeah,
and he's been the longest tenured captain since 2007. We have 5 teams with no captains. We have the Ducks, Coyotes, Hawks, Flyers, and the Kraken. I'm kind of surprised about the Kraken. I think they had their first captain was Giordano. Right. I want to say they got him off the expansion draft, but they got a couple young kids like that Matty Beniers guy. They're probably going to give it to him, but Philly, I understand. You got Torts over there. He's shaking everything up, fixing it the Torts way. So I think in the next year, maybe Torts will name a guy, but maybe
I'm surprised he hasn't already.
He usually leans on a guy to, get like Foligno. That was his captain with the Jackets for a long time. So maybe he's looking for an older veteran, or maybe Philly wants to go to like the direction everybody else has been doing, like the young guys coming in. Like just to name a couple, obviously McDavid. You got Larkin with the Red Wings.
But they waited a year. They drug that out to no end. They knew that he was going to be the guy, but they waited forever to name him.
Was it a year? Or was it?
Yeah, I'm pretty positive it was a year.
I mean, then you got. Well, here's an interesting team, which kind of hands the captaincy off when somebody retires. The Boston Bruins.
Yeah.
You had Chara all those years, then you had Bergeron all those years, and now you got Marchand, who he's been around for a long time. And they took the route of giving it to the next guy up who's like deserving of it. They didn't give it to the young Pastrnak. Pasta is probably the future captain, I'm guessing,
right,
when Brad Marchand is done. But like they're kind of making guys pay their dues, put in some years, wear the A for a little bit, learn from the guy in front of you, and then you get it. So that's a different route, and I respect that route. I like it. I think you pay your dues and you want to be the captain. That's an honor,
Yeah, because in a way, if you kind of look at it, it's kind of disrespectful to a guy who's been in the org for, say 10 years, put his time in, and then you give it to some kid who just walks up, just because he's good, but he doesn't know anything about the league.
Yeah, it's different. Boston's been good for so long, It's not like they're rebuilding like the Blackhawks. Like, you got so many new faces every year. It seems like a lot of guys don't really stick around that much. And obviously Crosby, that was a great decision by, Lemieux and the management to give this kid the C. He was the real deal. Everybody knew it. And he stuck around. He's going to retire as a Penguin, no doubt about it. Then you got other teams.
That should have been Kaner, man.
Here's an interesting one for me, and I don't know what you think about this. You got Austin Matthews, you got Mitch Marner, you got Morgan Riley. And then you bring in a guy like Tavares, you sign him big time, and you give him the C right away.
Right.
That was interesting to me.
Well, he was a captain in for the Islanders, so he'd been in the league and done it.
I know, but don't you think that, I don't know, if I'm in that locker room and, you're the up and coming draft pick, you score 4 goals in your first game, you score 60 a couple of years later, you're just a scoring machine. I think I would have gave it to Matthews. And
at the time, though, he hadn't done that. At the time, he hadn't done that. Tavares had already, come in second
the Leafs are famous for
Hart
that,
Trophy.
Though. I mean, I remember when they traded for Dion Phaneuf a couple of years ago.
Oh,
he won the C the first game.
Right.
And it's like, okay, you've been in a different locker room all year, and you're going to get the C. You don't even know anybody here,
Right.
Like, I mean, that says a lot about his leadership, Phaneuf. Like, obviously, he was a good leader at the time, and there's so many different philosophies on this. And, you can go to Ottawa. Remember, they get Brady Shen, or I'm sorry, not Brady Tkachuk.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like, we know this kid's a gamer. He's doing it all. He's fighting, he's scoring, he's passing, he cares about his team. And I think he got the C his second year, maybe, right?
Might have been his third year.
And maybe they were out without a captain for a while, but I think that was the route the Blackhawks are probably going to go with Connor Bedard.
Right.
But I think if Foligno was a little bit younger and he had a couple more years in his contract, I would say that would be fine. But, it just sucks to give a guy a C and then you're just going to unload him. Like, just unload him next year. Like, hey, we don't want you. You're too much money. Something like that. Like, we're competing for a playoff spot next year and you don't fit the plans.
Sure.
I think it's more of especially when you're rebuilding, you should have, if you got your plan set and stuff and you like set your foundation and then you can set your captain. If you're going to keep it like a revolving door, and what if Foligno didn't like it here? You throw the C on him and, hey, Nick, we really like you. We want you to come back. I'm going to go test free agency. It's like, oh, man, like you just got a captain musical chairs type of thing. So
I don't think that he would do that, though. If he had the C on his chest, I don't think he's like that type of guy.
No, I don't think so either. But keep in mind, he's never won a cup.
Right.
And I think that every player in this league wants to win a cup. So if anything, Foligno could be a guy that's dealt at the deadline for a team looking to get in and looking for a gritty guy, good leader in the locker room type of thing, and you can get something for him. But I think they're going to be very, very cautious with picking the C and even putting it on Connor. It might not even happen next year. He could just have a permanent A. You know what I mean?
Right.
So there's a lot of, like I said, there's like 6 leaders on this team. There's probably going to be, an away captains and or away assistants and away or home assistants. So I think it's probably going to be guys like Corey Perry, Seth Jones. I don't know why, but Connor Murphy, who he's still, I know I talk a lot of smack about him, but I don't see the hype in this kid. The first preseason game of the year, he made a terrible boneheaded play. Looked like a rookie out there,
Yeah.
But then, he had a couple good, I think he had a nice slap shot goal the other night, 2 nights ago or whatever, or 2 games ago. He'll probably have an A. Obviously, Foligno, maybe even Taylor Hall. I think Taylor Hall's deserving of one.
Sure.
So I think it's going to be a revolving merry-go-round of assistant captains this year. And next year, maybe they'll do like Taves. His first year he played. Next year at the fan convention, they name him the captain. They make a big ceremony about it, make it a big publicity thing.
They knew this kid. He is it. He is going to be. He's the next captain, 100%.
But here's the thing. That wasn't in their plans.
Right. It was Siebert.
It was 100% Siebes, and they brought in a guy like Brent Sopel at the trade deadline the year before. I think they drafted Kane and Taves. I think. And they were saying, wow, this guy's going to take the C. That's how good he is in the locker room and good with these young guys. So once we drafted Kane and Taves, people were like, oh, wow. Management, Dale Talon was like, oh, man, we got a good problem here. We got leaders all over the place. So they made the right decision.
They did.
You give your future number one center, franchise guy, the captain, and you make it a lot easier for him to stick around. And same with Kane. Kane was an underrated. You know what? Kane was a leader. He didn't get to wear the A a lot, but he absolutely was a leader. A lot of players followed him. A lot of players wanted to be around him. And a lot of players around the league wanted to come play for the Hawks because of this guy. So
yeah. I mean, he showed up to the rink every single day. He played well.
Last one on the ice. First one on the ice, last one off.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think he personified that leadership. And it really hurts me, man, that it's not Kane wearing a C. It would be such a smooth transition for the entire fan base, for the organization to say, hey, you know what, Taves, he can't do it anymore. He's stepping down. We're naming Kaner the new captain of the Chicago Blackhawks. Dude, people wouldn't even think twice about it. It probably wouldn't even be news because it would be so smooth of a transition for the captain.
It would be then Bergeron and Marchand. It'd be the same thing.
Yeah, no big deal. And then, Kaner plays for a few more years, gives it to Connor, man, and it turns into one of those things where, it's like, man, the Blackhawks, man, they've had such smooth transitions with captains. It's just been from one deserving guy to the next, instead of
the Boston Bruins route of handing out the C. And I think they're doing it the right way. Dude. I really do.
It's freaking painful, man. I really hope that, Kaner could say, hey, you know what? I want to come back and just finish out my time.
It would be awesome. It really would.
I just want to play some hockey. If he did, they would probably have to give it to him.
Yeah, I wish it was a little different. He wanted to go for that cup.
Yeah.
And kind of made it a little complicated. He kind of said, hey, it's Rangers or nothing, and it made it a lot harder on Davidson. And I credit Davidson. I watched those behind the scene videos. He was really trying to make this work for him, and he made it happen. Yeah, and I think Kaner appreciated it, and I think Kyle just kind of said, you know what, this is it. We're kind of closing the chapter on it, and we want to move on. But like you said, I think it would be awesome. Very highly unlikely now.
Sure,
but it would be sweet. It really would. Even if Kaner came back in the future, say 2-3 years, he wants to. His last year, go down with the team he started with. We've seen it before. Guys go back home. They always end up going home.
Yeah.
And that would be cool to see him and Bedard together one year.
Oh, God, man. Dude, could with Kane's past, dude, could you imagine him playing with Bedard?
I think Bedard is going to be more of the pass guy, and I want him to be the shoot guy.
I mentioned that. Yeah. I said that.
I know, but I want him to be the shoot, because this kid can shoot, man.
He does, but he doesn't have anybody to get him that puck.
He does not have the trigger man. He has to be his own trigger man.
Yeah, that's the thing. He doesn't have a Kaner to get him the puck.
I absolutely think it would help him.
Look at DeBrincat. DeBrincat's a 40-plus goal scorer with Patrick Kane. Without Patrick Kane, 20 to 27 goals. We're going to see what Connor is. But, maybe that's something the Blackhawks need to look for. Who is somebody who can dish the puck very, very well? And that might be somebody that
might be the next
Connor
draft.
needs.
You got to look for just a playmaker.
Could be Oliver Moore. He's got the wheels.
Yeah. Is he a center?
Yeah, he is.
So our center depth looks very good. I don't think we've had this good of center depth in decades.
Yeah.
I mean, even during the dynasty runs, it was hard to find that second line guy. We couldn't get it.
It was.
We had our first, obviously, with Taves, and you had your Davy Bolins, you had Kruger at fourth liner, and you can never find that guy who would take that second line center role. Now we got Reichel, Bedard, we got Oliver Moore coming up. We got some really solid centers coming up.
Yeah. Before we go any further, I want to let everybody know that the NFL season is going strong. DraftKings Sportsbook is hooking new customers up with an offer that's even stronger. Bet $5 on any game this week to score $200. And DraftKings isn't stopping there. All customers can take advantage of a sweeter offer every game day this October. And DraftKings isn't stopping there. All customers can take advantage of 2 new offers every game day this September. I've been doing it. They have these what are called no sweat bets on each Sunday, where say you put $20 down on a bet or $10 down on a bet and you lose, you'll get that no sweat bet back for next week, so that you can use that $10 or whatever that you put down on your bet for next week. And typically, if I lose one week, I get it back the next week. So it all ends up working out. Get into the game day greatness. Download DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code CHI-TOMAHAWK. New customers can score $200 instantly in bonus bets when you bet 5 on the NFL. That's code CHI-TOMAHAWK, only on DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas. Licensee partner Golden Nugget Lake Charles, LA. 21 plus, age varies by jurisdiction, void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 186 hours after issuance. See sportsbook.com, DraftKings.com/football terms for eligibility and deposit restrictions, terms, and responsible gaming resources. Now, Matt, back to the podcast. The Chicago Blackhawks have made a series of roster moves prior to their Sunday game against the Detroit Red Wings, including sending defenseman Nolan Allen to the Rockford Ice Hogs. Matt, I'm a little disappointed by that, but I think that it might be a really good move, especially if Nolan Allen is going down to the Ice Hogs to get top line minutes down there. I think that'll help him transition to the NHL very well. That being said, I put out a tweet today about Nikita Zaitsev being on the team. He's looked absolutely horrible. He looked horrible in the preseason. He looked horrible last year. I don't know what he's doing on the team, especially if he's taking up a spot for somebody like, say, Nolan Allen or Alex Vlasic or Isaac Phillips. What do you think about that, Matt?
Yeah, I've never been a big Zaitsev fan. I didn't really get that trade. I think we just did a team a favor by taking the cap hit on, which, whatever, okay, we got the cap space. Do what you got to do. As far as Nolan Allen, yeah, I thought he was solid, I thought. Nothing flashy, but you need those kind of defensemen to, be on your lineup every night. And, I'll jump back to Connor Murphy. I think Nolan Allen could be a lot better than Connor Murphy, but they're being very cautious with these guys, kind of making them pay their dues for a year. he's still going to get paid. He's not playing juniors anymore. He's going to be getting paid AHL money, which isn't bad. He's still getting his entry contract. I think a year will do him okay, and we'll probably see him get called up eventually too. Probably if there's a bad injury or if he's on a really hot streak and they kind of want to give him a look at the NHL level. So maybe at the end of the year, hopefully he'll be on the Blackhawks lineup.
Yeah, I agree. Colton Dock's been getting a real close look. And I think that he's one of those guys that's, kind of on the brink there. I think that he's a good player. I think that he can, he might be another guy who can benefit from maybe a year in Rockford. He'll obviously not playing in juniors anymore, being up at the professional level, playing with men, and before cutting his teeth and making it into the NHL full time. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I mean, they're giving him a look to the end, dude. So obviously they see something.
Yeah, they are.
I think Richardson really likes his game, and they're giving it a really close look and making a decision to the end, and that's good for him. That means he's played good and shown him a lot of great things, and I still think at the end they're going to send him down, which is okay. It's fine. Go down there, you play with Nolan Allen, you'll probably be the stud down there, and you get on a hot streak, it's just like Nolan Allen. You're playing really good. The Hawks are going to know. They'll call you up and give you a look. Yeah.
Alex Vlasic and Isaac Phillips are also vying to make the team. Richardson wouldn't commit to a number of defensemen and forwards he wants to take to the regular season opener in Pittsburgh on October 10th or carry regularly. And, Matt, this is I don't want to say it's probably a good problem to have, man, but it's a problem that I don't think that we need. And we're talking about Alex Vlasic and Isaac Phillips having to choose between this guy when we've got Connor Murphy and Nikita Zaitsev, playing where these guys have already cut their teeth into AHL. They've already played there. They've done their time. And I think it's time for them to be NHL regulars. And I honestly think that there are some roster spots being taken up where these guys should be playing. I think that they play well.
Yep. I don't think maybe they should be everyday players, but they should be on an NHL roster. I think I liked Isaac Phillips last year. I thought he was good. They called him up a lot. He ended up, the team was terrible last year. He was good. He's more of, I guess you could say he's more of a two-way guy. He could kind of skate it up. He could, play tough in his own end. But Vlasic, I think, is going to be a monster. The dude's tall as hell, big body, good reach. Again, Connor Murphy is on this team. What does Connor Murphy do that's so important that we can't have one of these guys just get the grind of 82 games with a big club? I think it goes to the salary cap. I think that $4 million is something they need to stay, over whatever. I don't know, but I just if you don't, like I said, if you don't have plans for this guy in the future, unload him. There's no expectations this year. I mean, obviously, guys want to compete and win, but we're not going to make the playoffs. I don't think. I think maybe we could be a 500 team, maybe a couple games under, maybe a couple games over. But
yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
Move these guys while you can. That's what I would do, and start cleaning up these bad salaries.
Yeah, cleaning up the back end. Letting guys know, like, hey, you're the future here. This is what we're looking to do. I think Vlasic, man, like you said, he is a big body. I think that he skates pretty well for his size. Moves the puck pretty well. I'm not nervous when he's passing the puck. Isaac Phillips, dude, he uses the body pretty often too. He's not a small guy. What is he, like 6'3", 6'4", something like that?
I think those two, their play pretty much shoved Ian Mitchell out of everything. Like they were waiting a lot for Ian Mitchell to come blossom, and it just never happened. So then you get a guy like Korchinski in the wings. This kid's going to make the team. He should have made it last year.
He is.
So he's going to make the team. He's going to need a good partner because this kid likes to pinch. He likes to skate the puck up. They say he's a little too trigger happy with doing that. So you need a responsible guy in their own end. You need your Seabrook back there when you got Keith doing his thing. And
you need him doing his thing.
You do for him to be effective. You need him to do that. And Isaac Phillips is a good shutdown guy. I think Vlasic could play with him. If you put Seth Jones and Korchinski together, you're asking for a lot of problems.
Yeah.
Tons of problems.
Yeah.
The best defensive pair I've seen on this Hawks, the most complete, has been Nick Jarmelson and Brian Campbell. That was the two best, obviously Keith and Siebes, but these guys were perfect together. And I think that's why we were so good in 2010. We had Keith and Siebes doing their thing, and then we had Campbell, who was supposed to be like this crazy goal-scoring defenseman. He actually played really solid D. Really solid D. And then you got Jarmelson blocking everything hit to him. And we've just been so blessed with good defensemen, and like the next guy up mentality. Like the next guy would come up and he would do great, and then we hit a rut. Keith and Siebes got older, and we started moving guys. But you absolutely need to find a guy that they'll complement each other. You can't have two of the same types of guys playing together. It never works.
Right. I agree 110%. Vlasic and Phillips should absolutely make the team, man. Korchinski 100%, I believe, is making the team. I don't see why not. Man, he plays very well with Bedard. Oh, yeah. Getting him the puck, skinning the puck up to him. And
too.
That's what
he looked good with Reichel.
Yeah, he does. And I think that Korchinski's very good with moving the puck up to his wingers and his center, and if he needs to, he's more than capable of with that smooth skating and carrying the puck up into the offensive zone if absolutely need be. For that reason alone, I think that Isaac Phillips fits the bill perfectly. I've seen that Korchinski might be paired up with Connor Murphy, and that might be setting things up the wrong way for these guys, because is Korchinski going to be thinking twice about doing things, be playing his style because he doesn't know what's going to happen on the other side? Do you know what I mean?
I don't know what Connor Murphy wants to be. I just don't. Yeah. I don't know what he wants to be. He's just there. He's not like, he doesn't have like a title. Like you look at Seth Jones. This guy's a puck mover. This guy creates offense. Kevin Korchinski, puck mover, creates offense. Going to another team. Nick Lindstrom, all around defenseman.
Two-way.
Chelly, mean in your face, probably can do it all. And then you got guys like Johnny Oduya and Nick Jarmelson, shot blockers, guys that don't give a shit about getting points. They want to do the hard work and prevent goals.
Oduya did a good job of being the Brian Campbell. When Brian Campbell was gone even in the playoffs, for Hammer.
He changed his game a little bit too. He started blocking shots. He started, trying to get the pucks out. He wasn't really skating it up as much, but guys like that. Connor Murphy, you go to him and, okay, what does Connor do? Sometimes he scores. Sometimes he turns the puck over. Sometimes he gets lost in his own end. He loses his helmet all the time.
Falls in his own end. Can't skate sometimes.
And he starred in Toy Story as Sid Phillips.
So do you think it's time to just move on from Connor Murphy?
Yep. If you can do it, do it. Somebody might want his services. I don't know what they're looking for, but maybe they need cap space or just need to fill in a spot.
There it is. Moving on. Trevor Zegras finally signed with the Ducks.
Because he got
3 years. Yeah, 3 years, $5.75 million. I was in between that 3.5 to 5 million range, but he got 5.75, probably because he sells jerseys. I get that. That's fine with me. And I think that Trevor Zegras needs to take a step this year on scoring at least 30 goals. Being more responsible defensively. I know that he's a flashy guy, but like this Michigan stuff just needs to stop. I'm done with it. So what do you think about the Zegras situation?
I think the contract is fair. I thought honestly he'd get more, and I guess he probably saw the writing on the wall, like, hey, he's not budging, so I better take it before he missed most of camp, but I'm sure he's been skating, on his own, no problems. But you want to get it done before the season so you could just focus on that. And the Ducks wanted to get it done too. You don't want to make this the story of the season and just get it over with and play hockey. He had 65 points last year. He's at 23 goals, 42 assists. Yeah, I'd like to see him hit 30 and maybe 60 assists the way he plays. Okay. He needs his buddy to pot in a lot of goals, his superstar friend, Troy Terry. So we'll see. But I think in 3 years, he's probably going to get another big payday. Or, hey, maybe he'll leave. He'll be like, you know what? This sucks. I don't want to play for this crap anymore. I'm out of here.
Yeah. I mean, Anaheim is a nice place to live, though. But it's really nice to be, making $10 million a year if you're living there.
Yeah, but, in the end, you want to win. And
is he one of those guys, though?
I think so. I think he's going to want to win, and you're going to get sick of playing with new faces every year and new coach every 2 years type of thing, because that team doesn't really have a direction, in my opinion. They do have some good young guys, but they have some young guys that aren't even signed. That Jamie Draisaitl, I think his name is. He's next. What's his? Yeah, Jamie Drysdale. Sorry,
Drysdale.
He's one of their top prospects too. So they got to get that done, and maybe a couple of years they'll be decent. But hopefully he's around to play with them.
So speaking of guys being moved, we've got a guy that's practically in Nylander's spot, actually a very similar type player, and William Nylander. William Nylander is linked to 4 teams. The Blackhawks are one of those teams. Now, I think that it would be so New York Rangers of them for the Rangers to pull this off to get William Nylander. Because the Rangers are another team, the Knights and the Wings. So I would, with all of my heart, love for the Blackhawks to skip on this Nylander guy. We've had one.
Two.
Well, we've had one already.
We had Daddy.
Oh, right. That's true. That's true. Okay, we've had 2 already. And hey, maybe third time's the charm.
I like the dad the best.
Okay. But William Nylander, man, he shows up in the playoffs, but he also, whenever he's on the ice, his line typically gets scored on as well, because he doesn't play defense and he doesn't get into those dirty corners to play when he needs to. And I don't think that's the type of guy that we're looking for this team. And I think that it would be a good idea for, the Blackhawks to just let that play out. As far as, say, maybe he could fit in on the Knights, because the Knights have a very good defensive system and some responsible defensemen where they can make that kind of play happen. That won't work with the Wings because they want everybody responsible. Yeah. And I don't think that it'll work there. The Rangers, I think that he would definitely fit in there.
I don't like any team that I don't like. I wouldn't take him. I mean, I know he had a career year last year. He's put in 40 goals, 47 assists, 87 points, plus 10. Yeah. Very good year for him. He's going to get paid. It was. But I think this is more of his team, I think the Leafs should do everything they can to keep this kid and move Tavares. That's just my opinion. I don't see it happening.
How can they do that, though?
They can't. Send him back to the Islanders, maybe. But, I mean, I just, I think the Leafs team is probably his best fit. Detroit, maybe, because they're kind of starting up something nice down there. It's kind of coming together. The Knights, I don't know how. I mean, they have problems with cap, all the time. The Rangers, the same thing. I mean, they pretty much had to have like a 3-way trade and moving cap space, retaining this to get Kane. So this kid's going to get paid. You put in 40 goals, that's a big deal. He's going to make some money. I just Detroit has the space, and the Blackhawks have the space. I personally wouldn't want him because he's going to be 28 years old. He's probably got 4 good seasons. You think? Probably 4 good, and the Hawks aren't ready yet, so it's kind of a waste. It's just bad timing. I like the guy, but I just I'd rather bring up a kid, and start from the bottom.
Yeah. That's where we are right now. So,
and even if it was a possibility, who would the Hawks have to get rid of? Reichel? No, thank you.
No,
I don't want to move a guy like that for this guy. He's too old. If he was like 25, 24, yeah, you're going to get maybe 8-10 years out of it, but not so much with this at this time, you know.
Even if they ask for Oliver Moore, I'd say no.
Yeah, you know, you hate to see a guy never even, you know, doesn't even get a shot in the league. You want to see him first. You know, and it's
Right.
like, oh, yeah, in a couple of years, you see him playing for the Leafs, just tearing it up. It's like, why didn't we hang on to that guy? You know?
Yeah, and then we're holding on to Nylander while we're watching him coast in the defensive end.
You know, looking at the defenseman going for the puck and him going for the puck, and he just kind of puts the brakes on and lets the defenseman get it clean because he doesn't want to put a body like his brother.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's just how he
I
is.
hate that,
so.
dude. I saw that a lot with his brother in.
Oh yeah.
God, where did I go? It was the Wolves and Rockford game. And I'm like,
it was even worse because Alex Nylander thought he was William Nylander, you know?
They got these egos, you know, these young kids that come up there, they think they're not allowed to be hit or they don't have to do certain things. And like going back to last week with the Mark Stone shit, like, dude, shut up. You fair game, dude. What do you think? You're the captain, you have injury problems, no one's allowed to hit you? It's hockey, dude. Quit being a freaking pussy. I hate that. I hope there's a target on his back every freaking night. I hope.
Oh my gosh, dude!
It's insulting. This poor kid is trying to make the team. He's finishing his checks.
He is.
Give me a freaking break, dude. What have you ever freaking done?
And then he's talking shit after that. You know, like, oh yeah, he's not going to be in the league. You know, he's not one of those players that's going to be in the league, so it doesn't really matter.
This guy scored 30 goals once. You know?
And
get out of here.
And what was his name? Hodgson. The guy who hit him, was it
something
Hodgkin or Hodgson's or something like that? This guy, man, is out there trying to make the team, trying to make a fucking living for himself, trying to live his dream, and you got fucking Mark Stone over here. I mean, you would think that he was Steve Yzerman getting blindsided by somebody. Do you know what I mean?
Such a joke.
Or Joe Sakic. It's like, well, first off, man, you know, nobody hits Sakic that way.
He benefited playing on a shitty Ottawa team all those years, and then they trade him. They trade for him. They give him big bucks. He's hurt all the time. It looks like he walked into a window. His nose is flattened. I hate that shit, that ego stuff. Who do you think you are, dude? Yeah, good for you. You won the Stanley Cup with your team. Your team helped you. You didn't do it individually. You're not a superstar. You barely scored 30. Give me a
I can't believe
break.
that he gets paid $8 million a year.
That's insane.
It's
insane. He is the reason why they won't get all these up and coming, you know, trade bait guys like Nylander. This dude makes too much money and he doesn't do anything.
Right, 100%. On that note, everybody, this is the first week of the season. We cannot wait. I can't wait to finally get the season started, man. Connor Bedard starting to get his feet wet. And it's going to be really interesting to see him face off against Sidney Crosby, his childhood hero, seeing that first face off, getting the ice time, seeing some of these players, man, that we've been wanting to see for so long, like Korchinski finally making the team and starting this new era of what we believe is going to be great Blackhawk hockey. I mean, probably won't make the playoffs this year, but I think we're looking at a 500 team. Some guys are looking to make some big steps, and we're looking at the beginning of something that can be beautiful. Do us a favor, everybody. Get on DraftKings. Use our code ShyTomahawk. It's great. I'm going to be putting my bets out on the Chicago Tomahawk Twitter this week. Let's see how everybody does. I'll show you how I do, and we'll catch you on the next one. This is the Tomahawk. We're out of here.